the sewage and the sites. I really do believe that the technology helps inform the locations where you can go.
Sure.
When you look at the East Side guide that was produced last year, and they had sites for Oak Bay, and they had sites for Victoria, and they had sites for Saanich. One particular site that I was looking at just the other day in a meeting was the Clover Point site, and the consultant said, categorized it by the site's ability to treat the region's waste, or just for the east side or the west side. In this case, it was the east side because it was that guide, or just municipally, a smaller amount at Oak Bay or Victoria or so forth. But then John Epic came into the CRD a month ago with his proposal saying that he could do the whole east side at that site. It wasn't going to be a complete solution, but he's put some technologies together. He's put a little bit of engineering, pre-planning analysis together, and so he started with that to help figure out if he could fit on the site. If he couldn't fit on the site, he wouldn't have thrown anything forward. So I think we need to kind of evolve the process now to be looking at what's available to help us fit on the site. One interesting thing that I discovered just looking through the RFP on McLaughlin was that the technology was selected to shrink to McLaughlin. So it is a precedent for this here. The technology informs what's possible. And so I hope we can get back to that with CRD and do right by our taxpayers. On this other matter, I'll take it up for you. I know there's been some other discussion on it. Councillor Platt?
If I may.
Go ahead, please.
Just to follow up, and I don't want to belabor the night, but it's unfortunate staff is not here to respond, and so in that regard, I know Ms. Dubois. So my comment to you would be, what's online says the 3rd, the bylaw says the last regular council meeting. By regulation, we're required to have 2 committees of the whole of the month. So a council meeting / committee of the whole does not make for a regular council meeting. So if we only have 2 committees of the whole in the month, then it does make it in this awkward quandary that we don't have room for an open forum. That being said, when it comes to the front of the meeting, it will change everything. In the interim, I acknowledge that there's some confusion and we should do better to make it clear. So,
can I just ask for clarification, Councillor Platt?
Yeah.
Are you saying there are no regular council meetings in some months?
yes,
None.
because there is committee of the whole and a council meeting, which then therefore makes it a non-regular council meeting.
That would be a technicality that the members of the public would not appreciate. Thank you.
Okay. Next speaker, please. Thank you. Hello, Larry.
Hello, Mayor. Hello, councillors and staff. Good evening. Thanks for staying. I'd like to get started. It seems like you're a little lenient on the time, but you've got to run it. I want to tell you how pleased I was to take the Saanich News out of my mailbox on Saturday, January 16th, and see Dean Murdoch on the cover. I've attended 6 or so of the Environment and Natural Areas Advisory Committee, chaired by Dean. He's made me feel welcome, always. Oh, but not so welcome once. And when there was space at the table, he'd motion me to join. He'd call on me when I had questions. He always responded to my emails. The meetings were interesting, and the atmosphere was positive. There was humor and respect. I take this opportunity to thank you, Dean. I want to thank everybody, though, for all the committees that you go and work on, and what you said tonight. It wasn't part of my presentation, but you guys are just doing lots, and so it's not just Dean. So the article was about energy efficient building standards. We have no control over now what UVic's new sports complex has done, which could surely have benefited from having solar hot water system for its showers. Saanich has solar hot water at the Gordon Head Rec Center. I would ask Saanich to get estimates for adding solar hot water to the Commonwealth Pool Complex. I would also ask Saanich to make it easier for people to build smaller houses with their inherent lower energy needs. As for the committee rooms, what about double-paned storm windows that are put up in October and taken down in May? This would allow the louver windows to be opened in the summer, which would help in cooling costs and allow fresh air to circulate. On page 2, there was an announcement that council plans to acknowledge First Nations in all official gatherings, which I guess will start sometime. Then on page 3, I was so pleased to see the article advocating a community garden at Regina Park. Justin Blanchfield indicated a demand, pointing out the large waiting list for the new Gorge Park garden allotments. Council has the power to make these garden allotments happen. Take root. Take root. I thought that was very clever of the person. and blossom and grow. I would ask council to create a department other than the overstretched park department. Perhaps call it the Community Gardens Department and hire one person, someone with a vision like Justin Blanchfield's, to oversee and facilitate the establishment of garden allotments. May I suggest contacting Michael Abelman, who lives now in Salt Spring. For many years, he ran an urban farm and has helped with a huge garden for homeless on unused commercial land in Vancouver. He might have some suggestions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. Larry, how do you spell Michael Abelman? With
You
one
know
N,
what?
one N or two?
You know what? It's spelled like A-B-L-E-M-A-N. Here, I can give this to you in case, for that reference.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
This presentation is preserved on the display, the video display.
Right. Next speaker.
Eddie Najari, 1005 Leeds Place. I am just appalled by this process of sewage treatment process, so-called public consultation. It's a fraudulent process, right from the beginning. They claim that they want to consult people, they invite people, and we went big group of people, you know. The meeting in conference center was packed, maybe about 200 people more. We put our name, our email addresses so they can contact us back to come back to look at the process as it's developing. It was all a fraud. They use us as a prop to say that we consult with people, but whenever we brought a concern, just dismiss. Oh, we are going to look at that later. We said we want to look at alternative to what you guys are pushing. We want to look at more viable economically and more viable environmentally. Oh, we will do that, we will do that. Did they do it? This gentleman, Mr. Councillor Vic Derman, since 2006, I have the record of it. In every other meeting, he said, we have to look at innovation. We have to look at how to make money out of this. In every step of the way, they dismiss him. They ignored him. And now he has this report coming, integrated resource management on Wednesday. They want to make decision. They already sent a motion to choose. Listen to this: treasury treatment, one plant in Rock Bay. You know why now they come with treasury plant? Because there is that report from DFO that said secondary treatment has negligible effect on the environment. So okay, we choose treasury because we can defend the secondary, and that was their goal until now. In McLaughlin, a secondary treatment was $780 million. In here, in these things they put in front of public last 2 weeks, and the public, let me tell you, I went to 3 meetings in the conference center, 25 people. They had room for 500. They spend our money, but there is nobody coming because people know it's a con game. So now they want to put this report, this motion, to force you to elect. They tell you, we have to do it. Why? P3 is not there anymore. Federal government took it out of the table, and the CRB hasn't. Write a letter to the federal government for clarification. Why? Because they want it to be pushed. Or they say to you that we have a mandate from the provincial government to do this. It's a mandate, they are forcing you. Your job, you know, is not to be enforcer of the senior government. If they want to force us to choose a secondary treatment or any treatment, let them come and force us. They won't. Let them do it, but you don't do it. Mr. Trudeau said there is 4 conditions he put. He said that it has to be in terms of economically viable. He said it has to be environmentally beneficial. It has to be based on scientific evidence that science doesn't exist here, and it has to be providing innovation. One last thing I want to just say is this. Guess what? Now they are saying that tertiary treatment in Rock Bay is going to cost, listen to this, $692 million. This is today. This came out today. Last week, it was $1.13 billion, $400 million profit in 1 week. Do you want us to trust what CRD telling us? This is ridiculous. These charlatans change the numbers in order to fit their agenda. Please do not vote. Please do not legitimize this process. This man worked very hard for integrated resource management, and he's going to put his report on Wednesday on the table. What they are going to pass a motion to already go with one plant. He is saying that Pivotal, to integrate several plants that is proposed by Pivotal, the oversight advisory committee also said it makes sense. Integrated resource management says it makes sense, we should pay attention. They say it's going to cost between $250 to $400 million. Most likely they can get rid of the bugs and cost only $250 million. No, let's pass the motion. We have to do it. Why?
Can I get you to wrap up your comments?
Yes, thank you.
Benny, can I ask you, well, I haven't seen you down at the CRD to come to speak.
I am coming.
Come down to speak.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we need to hear you down.
Because I have a renter in my place. I haven't raised the rent for 10 years. People cannot afford it. If this go through, we have to pay through our nose, and the rent have to go up, everything else has to go up. Please don't do it.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the public that would like to speak? Okay, I think we're done. We don't need to motion. We're all done. Thank you so much. I'll take your comments. Have a good night, everybody.
To choose the tertiary